Hey, yeah. Yeah, it's true, but, like, I don't really talk about it. Because, well, it's about punishments and bad people. But, yeah. Um, okay, so, you always loved Jesus. And let's just go back. Let's just go back in history. And well, let me turn my heater off. I learned that I leave the air conditioner on because it always gets so hot in the day. And if I turn the air conditioner off at night, it gets too hot during the day because this trailer's like a sauna. But then it makes it kind of cold in the mornings. But if I turn it off, it'll make it too hot during the day. So, figured out how to survive. But so let's go back to the days of Jesus. Let's just say that Jesus was born and the whole world worshipped him. Jesus was born and the whole world wanted to worship and adore him. No deals with the devil until he had to get crucified. No bad people. Let's just say that everyone worshipped and adored Jesus. If that had happened, once again, if that had happened, this world would have been the most wealthy, powerful, giant, amazing planet in existence. But they all made deals with the devil, and Jesus had to die. And gods didn't want the planet, obviously, to have a bunch of good things. So the gods gave good things to good little girls and boys and gave bad things to the ones that wanted to hurt Jesus. And that's as good as it got, right? Well, because I'm a dead god, if I would have been worshipped by the world, you guys would have had the most impossible wealth and unrealistic spoiled existence ever known that gods could build. But of course, I've just been killed, raped, and treated like crap. So, like, there's nothing good coming to this planet. But there are some pretty good things coming to countries that always loved and worshipped me. So if you want to know what's going to happen towards countries that always loved and worshipped me and actually did the things that I would want in love and worship as a dead god, you can just think or say, my queen, my queen, my queen, and find out what does happen to Japan and Russia and all these countries like Hawaii that loved and worshipped the great dead Baba Yaga. They do receive monumental things from monumental gods, and it is pretty exciting stuff. But like I said, I was mostly hurt in death as a god, so it brought a lot of bad things upon earth, such as evil Santa Claus. During Christmas, an evil Santa Claus visited everybody God hates. That evil Santa Claus left spiritual presence of punishment. That evil Santa Claus brings every Christmas what bad people deserve for doing bad things in my direction. The same thing with Easter. There's an evil Easter bunny that brings very evil, scary, sickening punishments every Easter to the people who have done anything against me. So yes, could they have done more than crucify Jesus and have brought much, much more devastation and death upon themselves? Yes. So were the days of Jesus pretty smart because they were the reason Jesus died once and didn't have to die so extreme as if they were the most unthinkable enemy of God ever known? They did get quite a discount because they didn't do as many sickening things against Jesus as they did against an actual dead God. It's not a fun time, but it's a good time to tell you guys the United States was just laughing that they knew I was a dead God. And they loved trying to ruin the Pledge of Allegiance just because gods were around. And, you know, it's just a really bad time where really bad people need to get really bad things because that's how bad they are. You really shouldn't get wrapped up in it. You should stay close to my queen, my queen, my queen. Talk to gods all the time about good things from gods and just stay away from the death and despair and destruction of what happens when you just have to be gross or disgusting against God and get what you deserve. You know, from somebody that would scratch Jesus' statue to someone who would do anything against anything connected to heaven, you don't want to understand it. And I'll just help you. The Noah's Ark people had a problem with violent murder. So during the times of Noah's Ark, everyone wanted to violently kill everyone. So during the times of Noah's Ark, if you were angry and mean, you might get murdered. And that's why Noah's Ark people got destroyed. Did they die an unthinkable, God-level, horrifying death? Yeah, because gods just aren't going to put up with a whole existence thinking they can just kill everybody when they're mad or when they fight. And pretty much everybody was killing everybody. It was that bad. But did Noah's Ark people die at all as badly as the people that raped angels called Sodom and Gomorrah? No, Sodom and Gomorrah are legendary death that has never ended because they raped angels, which the consequence is so much more sickening in death punishments from gods when you destroy a heaven reality directly. So do you ever want to ask what really actually totally happened to the people who ever hurt Jesus on purpose? No, you don't. And I'll just teach you something. The death of Sodom and Gomorrah, the people of Sodom and Gomorrah raped angels and figured out how to actually rape angels. They raped 3 angels. Those people have never stopped dying and are a perpetual fun story from gods to everyone in existence about how they have never stopped dying in the worst ways no one would ever want to actually understand. So you don't really want to understand enemies against God or heaven or any of that kind of stuff. You'd want to kind of end it right about Noah's Ark people or Hitler people. That's all pretty scary stuff where gods, treat crime the way it should be treated. Another thing that might help you out is to realize what gods really are like. A god will look at a baby in heaven, realize that that baby in heaven will never be the same because they got killed on earth, and take it out on the one that killed them in hell forever. So that hell will be so full of every happiness that baby will never have. That hell is full of everything that baby's life could have had. And that God will keep killing them forever. Over all kinds of Christmases, that baby will never enjoy the same because they had to die and got killed. So you don't really want to mess with gods, and you don't want to go near the suicidal tendency of the overly suicidal. I mean, why do it? Criminals are insane and they're gross and they're criminals. So just stay away from bad people. Really work on being close to God and receiving good things. There's an island of gods between California and the opposite land. Why not spend all your time, all your energy on my queen, and how to get to the island of gods and figure out how God wants to give you amazing things from an amazing Santa Claus that God made in a good way for good people. Don't get wrapped up in the fact that the most evil Santa Clauses and more have arrived to Earth because these crimes were so unthinkable. Instead, focus on the people that live and live on because they'd never go against God. It's a better day. It's a better focus, a better mentality. And it keeps you away from polluted bad things that are just inevitably going to drown you in an easy way to do the wrong thing and have no, happy life with God. Why destroy everything you could have from God when God's right here? Well, the island of gods is right in between California and the opposite land. It's not that far. It's easy to work with the gods to figure out how one day you can get there. And it's so fun to think about walking around with gods and angels on an island and finding out how the Facebook nobody world famous poor dead god created an island in death to celebrate my resurrection. And it's fun to walk with real angels, real gods, have real talks with real giants, and realize that with God you can have anything. But against God is just never worth anything except death forever, so it's just not even worth thinking about. The real reality is that criminals want to be disgusting against God, but that's an insanity. It's insanity. When you commit crime, you want to hate God. Hate God just kills you more. So the real smart criminal stays away from the hatred of God, just acknowledges they did something bad, and, if they end up in prison, whatever, they did something bad, but they don't take it farther to try to get the attention of the hatred of God like it's nothing. Try to be wise. This is the end of the world. Try to find a good answer and a good future for yourself. It's really, really easy to be a shitty, low-life loser. And it's hard to be a winner. But the rewards come from God and are pretty amazing. It's worth it to say, I want to live, and I want to meet God, and I want to have a future. Really, think about it. People are dying just to laugh when I walk by because they know the country killed and raped me and God was reduced to a joke and a nothing. Is it really worth it to laugh that I'm a poor joke God and lose the reality of the future of God's love forever? And switch God's love to hate over one laugh against something? I don't think so. I know angels. I know gods. I'd much rather meet an angel one day than die forever because I just have to laugh because somebody walks by and is or is not anything. I don't understand criminals. I'm never going to tell you that I do because I really don't. Like all gods, I don't like bad things. But I do know one thing. I have never been tempted to laugh at a retarded person. I've never been tempted to laugh at somebody that talks to themselves. I feel really sad that this is a very sickening, sickening planet. And it's probably easy to die when you're such sickening, horrible people that easily abuse or mistreat or destroy or inappropriately treat things. But that's why God calls this the end of the world. That's why the Bible calls it a white throne judgment. This is where God is just deciding who lives and who doesn't, once and for all. And that's how it works. It's real easy to be gross. Being a loser doesn't take a lot of work or dedication. It's really hard to be a winner. It's really hard to wake up in the morning and talk to God straight through my queen, be devoted to an amazing future straight from God's, and let go of the loser on every corner who just has to laugh that Bonnie exists every 5 minutes. But hey, do you want to die forever over stupid things not worth it? You might want to think about that.